Welcome to the ASTRALX Deep Dive, illuminating your path. I'm Lunaria Celine, your intuitive guide.
And I'm Solarian Zephyr, your cosmic strategist.
We bridge celestial wisdom.
Unlock your modern path.
Discover guiding starlight insights.
Explore powerful cosmic energies.
How do planetary transits shape your story today? Well, this deep dive, it's specifically for you. We're exploring your unique celestial map, your potential journey for 2025.
That's right, we're using the Lunar Oracle and the Archer's Bow as our guide here, digging into how these cosmic energies are really lining up for you, especially with that powerful Cancer Sun and Sagittarius Rising combination.
Yeah, and this source, it just jumps right in with such a strong image for you this year. The Lunar Oracle, guided by the Centaur's arrow, it captures that core essence, doesn't it? Your Cancer Sun, that deep, nurturing, intuitive water sign energy, your emotional safe place.
Exactly, your core. But then there's your interface with the world, your rising sign, Sagittarius. Fiery, truth-seeking, adventurous, always aiming that arrow towards, wisdom and bigger horizons.
So the source says for 2025, you're called to be, what was it? The keeper of the hearth who heeds the call of the wild.
Keeper of the hearth, call of the wild, it nails that dynamic, that inherent tension and potential. You got the pull inwards and the pull outwards.
Right, and the source points to one massive celestial event in 2025 that really crystallizes this for you. That's the Neptune-Saturn Conjunction in Aries.
Oh yeah, this is the big one, according to this source. It's active mostly February through August, but the exact peak is June 29th. And the key for you is where it lands.
Where's that?
In your 7th house, the house of partnerships.
Yeah.
Your closest one-on-one relationships.
Okay, wow. So this intense energy is right in the heart of your connections. Let's unpack that. The source uses some really vivid descriptions like Saturn structure, karma, right? It calls it a crystalline lattice.
Yeah, imposing form, demanding commitment, boundaries. Very Saturn.
And then Neptune, completely different vibe. Dissolution, spirit.
The source calls it a shimmering quantum field. It dissolves forms, it wants mystical union merging.
And all this happening in Aries, that sign of self-initiation, like a laser beam of energy demanding authenticity.
Right there in your 7th house.
Yeah.
So authenticity in your relationships, it's intense.
So you've got Saturn building walls, defining the term, saying this is the deal. And Neptune right there basically melting the walls, asking, are we even separate? Isn't it all connection?
Exactly. And the source calls the dynamic this creates karmic interference patterns. Like old relationship echoes showing up.
Ooh, okay. Karmic patterns.
And navigating it. The challenge is called quantum entanglement of commitment.
Quantum entanglement of commitment. That sounds profound and maybe a bit scary. What's the practical feel of that?
Well, the source suggests it means you're really grappling with the nature of your partnerships. Like Neptune pulls you towards total soul merging, losing yourself in the connection.
Yeah, that boundless feeling.
But Saturn pulls back hard, warning, hold your ground. Protect your shores. Be an individual in the relationship. So you've got this deep, almost fated connection, the entanglement, but also this demand for clear structure and agreements, the commitment.
It really sounds like a clash.
It can feel like it, but the source reframes it, which I like. It says the friction isn't necessarily destructive. It's more like the heat needed to forge something new.
Ah, like creating a stronger alloy for your relationships.
Exactly. Learning to build structures, maybe flexible ones, that can actually hold that sacred boundary-blurring space Neptune seeks without you losing yourself. Yeah, that's the core work of 2025 for you, according to this source.
Okay, that's a huge theme. So how do other planetary movements play into this main story?
Right, so let's look at the other transits mentioned. First up, Jupiter, which is actually your Sag rising ruler, the planet of expansion, moves into Gemini. That's happening May 25th to October 9th.
And for you, that lights up your 6th house.
Daily routines, work, health, service. And the archetype, the source gives this phase. The Centaur becomes the multilingual messenger.
Oh, I like that. Your Sagittarian Centaur, always learning, but now in Gemini, it's like information overload. Learning everything, talking to everyone.
Pretty much. Your daily life, your work, how you serve it, just explodes with curiosity. You want to learn new skills, communicate more, connect ideas.
Okay, so the quantum lens the source mentions here is Jupiter expanding Gemini's polarized knowledge streams. What does that translate to, like day to day?
It can feel like a real buzz. Lots of information coming in, lots of ideas sparking. Potential for information overload is definitely there. Your nervous system might feel it, like your fingertips are tingling, wanting to type, learn, share.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Exciting, but maybe scattered.
Exactly. So the source gives a practical tool, somatic anchor. When you feel that overwhelm,
What do you do?
place one hand on your solar plexus, that's Cancer's power center, your sun sign, and the other hand on your throat chakra for Gemini communication.
Oh.
Then breathe. Inhale calm blue light. Think Cancer's calming water down into your belly. Then exhale buzzing yellow light, Gemini's busy energy out from your throat.
Grounding the intuition while releasing the mental chatter.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And there's an affirmation. I discern wisdom from noise. My voice shares my truth with clarity. It's about finding your Cancerian center amidst the Gemini buzz.
That makes sense. The source mentions Ada Lovelace as a historical echo.
Yeah, suggesting she might embody this archetype, maybe a Cancer Sun Sag Rising type blend. She had that poetic vision, that Cancerian depth, maybe some Neptune in there.
Right.
But combined it with rigorous Sagittarian logic and Gemini-like curiosity for detail to basically pioneer computing. It shows how your everyday tasks, your work during this phase, could hold seeds for real innovation.
Wow. Okay. And there's a ritual, too, for the Gemini new moon in June.
Yep. A journal prompts first. What 3 skills or knowledge streams spark my Centaur's curiosity? How can I practically weave one into my daily work? Just one.
Focus is key.
Exactly. Then the ritual. Light 2 candles for Gemini duality. Write the skills on separate small papers. Then, and this is important, you burn one
Burn one. Why?
to symbolically release the distraction, the pressure to do it all right now.
Letting go of the overwhelm.
Every there, then you plant the other paper, the chosen skill, near a window. Water it as a commitment to nurturing that specific learning path.
I love that. The source calls this your eat, pray, love meets hidden figures phase.
Yeah, embracing that messy, curious journey of learning and service, Gemini 6, but always remembering to tend to your deep Cancerian emotional needs.
Okay, so after that period of expansion and maybe some mental juggling, we circle back to the main event, that Neptune-Saturn conjunction hitting its peak, right, around June 29th.
Yes, this is when that energy is most potent. The archetype the source uses here is intense. The oracle gazes into the smoky mirror of a relationship.
Smoky mirror suggests things aren't clear.
Exactly. Illusions can shatter. The foundations of your closest bonds, romantic, business, maybe even key friendships, are really tested. They might dissolve or they might solidify, but probably in a new way.
It's all focused back on that 7th house intensity.
And the quantum lens for this peak, the source calls it the wave-particle duality of partnership.
Okay, wave-particle duality, like in physics, how does that apply to relationships?
It's asking,
Yeah.
how are you experiencing the relationship right now? Are you focused on the particle aspect, the Saturn view? Defined roles, clear agreements, the structure, the boundaries.
He's seeing it as a solid thing.
Right. Or are you experiencing the wave aspect, the Neptune view, the boundless love, the spiritual connection, the feeling of merging, the undefined flow?
And the point is, both are true at the same time.
Yes. And holding that paradox, that tension between form and flow, is the challenge, especially around this peak time. Trying to define the undefinable or trust the infinite within a structure. It's tricky.
I bet. Does the source offer grounding for this, a somatic anchor?
Absolutely. It suggests noticing physical tension, maybe in your shoulders and arms, that's Aries energy, feeling like you need to assert or defend yourself, or maybe a hollow feeling in your heart space, related to the 7th house vulnerability, perhaps when boundaries feel blurred.
So what's the practice?
Grounding. Stamp your feet first, connect with that Aries fire, your right to take up space. Then hug yourself tightly. Bring in your Cancerian self-nurturing. Hold yourself.
Okay, feet stamping, self-hug, and an affirmation.
I stand firm in my truth while holding compassionate space. It's about being anchored in your own self while staying open in the relationship dynamic.
Powerful. The historical echo mentioned is Frida Kahlo.
Yes, the source connects her intense relationships, her physical challenges, and her incredibly transcendent, often surreal art, that blend of Cancerian depth and vulnerability with Sagittarian defiance, all playing out in the crucible of partnership, defined and dissolved. It captures the potential intensity.
Definitely. And integrating this,
Right.
it takes time, right? There's another ritual suggested later in the year.
Right, for when Saturn goes direct in Pisces in November. It's about integration. The journal prompt digs deep. What sacred structure, Saturn, must I build to protect the divine mystery, Neptune, within my most important relationship?
Wow.
What old relational karmic loop, Saturn, is ready to dissolve, Neptune?
Getting really specific about structure and release and the embodiment practice.
A saltwater bath connects Cancer's water and Neptune's ocean. While you're in the bath, Visualize Saturn's rings creating a safe, protective circle around you.
A container.
Exactly. And within that safe space, visualize Neptune's light gently dissolving any old relationship pain or patterns that are ready to go, letting them release within that secure boundary.
That sounds incredibly healing. The cultural resonance mentioned is Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Mhm. Capturing that burning authenticity, Aries in the seventh, the courage needed to see clearly and love deeply, especially when facing societal constraints, Saturn, or spiritual boundary blurring, Neptune. So after navigating that intense peak in the Gemini explorations, there's another significant shift later in the year.
Okay, what happens next?
Jupiter, your Sag rising ruler, moves again. This time it enters your sun sign, Cancer. This is big. It happens October 9th and stays through November 2025.
Jupiter in my sun sign. That sounds good. Like a blessing.
It absolutely can be. The archetype the source uses is just lovely. The bountiful hearth, Jupiter, the planet of growth, luck, expansion, is now lighting up your core Cancerian territory.
So growth comes through home, family, emotions, intuition.
Yes, all those Cancerian themes. Emotional security, nurturing yourself and others, your actual home, family roots, your inner knowing. That's where the expansion and blessings are focused now.
The quantum lens here is Jupiter amplifying Cancer's emotional gravity well. What does that mean?
It means your feelings, your home environment, your nurturing energy become incredibly magnetic. Like a gravity well, they pull things towards you. What you focus on nurturing emotionally really has the potential to grow, to multiply.
Where would you feel this physically, the somatic anchor?
The Thors suggests feeling it as warmth and expansion right in your core, your womb space or belly area, that Cancerian center. Practice deep, nourishing belly breaths. Maybe place your hands there when you need to make intuitive decisions.
And the affirmation.
My intuition is my superpower. My nurturing creates abundance. Really owning that Cancerian strength.
Love that. The historical echo is Pearl S. book.
Yeah, another suggested Cancer Sun Sag Rising type. Her deep nurturing of cross-cultural understanding, that's the Cancer part, combined with her expansive journeys and wisdom-seeking, the Sag part, led to huge success, even a Nobel Prize. It shows how your home base, your heart, your nurturing, is the launchpad for your biggest adventures.
That's really inspiring. It reframes home not as confinement, but as a source of power. And the ritual for this, time for the Taurus full moon in October.
Perfect harvest time.
Yeah.
The journal prompt is, what in my emotional world, home, or lineage deserves celebration and expansion? What seeds of security planted earlier this year can I now gratefully harvest?
Celebrating the growth. And the ritual itself.
A gratitude feast. Make it lavish, for yourself or loved ones. Decorate with silver for the moon, Cancer's ruler, and purple for Jupiter. Really embodies abundance. And importantly, offer thanks aloud for the emotional, spiritual, maybe even material growth your nurturing has brought forth.
Beautiful. The cultural resonance here blends Babette's feast with Maya Angelou's I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings.
Right. It's showing how profound nurturing and connection to roots, Cancer, becomes this act of expansive generosity, wisdom, and even liberation. Sagittarius Jupiter. Your hearth becomes a source of blessing for yourself and the world.
Okay, so putting it all together, that intense Neptune-Saturn dynamic, the Jupiter journeys, the source says this creates choices, right? Potential paths for you.
Exactly. It's not deterministic. These energies create potentials, quantum paths, as the source calls them, that you can consciously choose to walk. It outlines three main possibilities.
What's the first one?
The Centaur's resolute path. This is choosing to really embrace the Saturn side of that conjunction in your seventh house.
Meaning, focusing on clear boundaries, defined commitments, being really clear about your needs in relationships.
Yes. Courageous self-assertion. And you channel the Neptune energy, that desire for flow or spirit, into something structured, like a dedicated spiritual practice or a creative discipline. Give it a container.
And the outcome of that path.
Forging really solid, authentic partnerships. Maybe professional recognition, too, as you apply that discipline. The feeling is security built from self-reliance, like building your own sturdy lighthouse on solid ground.
Okay, path 2.
The Oracle's dissolving veil. This leans more towards the Neptune energy in the seventh.
So embracing compassion, maybe spiritual merging, letting go of rigid relationship definitions.
Right. Radical compassion. You still use Saturn, but maybe more for simple daily grounding rituals, not strict relationship rules.
What's the potential outcome here?
Could be profound karmic cleansing, maybe even transcendent union in relationships. Creative or psychic gifts might surge, but there's a caution noted here.
What's that?
The risk of losing your own boundaries. So success here really requires staying anchored in your strong Cancerian emotional core. but the potential for deep healing, especially of ancestral patterns, is huge. It feels like becoming a clear channel for divine love, trusting the flow.
And the third path.
The Lunar Archer's integrated flight. This is the path of consciously weaving both Neptune and Saturn together, the dance between them.
So, structure and fluidity. Setting clear intentions, Aries, but holding them in flexible, compassionate containers, Neptune.
Exactly. And using that wonderful Jupiter and Cancer energy to nurture both yourself and others expansively wisely.
What does that lead to?
Masterful navigation of complex relationships. You might even become a guide for others in this kind of quantum commitment blending form and flow. There's potential here to launch something new, maybe a business or project, that blends your Cancerian home heart focus with your Sagittarian wisdom teaching adventure side.
That sounds amazing.
It promises deep emotional fulfillment and exhilarating growth. The feeling is like your hearth fire, your inner sanctuary, actually illuminates the path your Sagittarian arrows fly towards, fully integrated, wholly alive.
Wow. Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive based on the Lunar Oracle and the Archer's Bow, what's the final whisper, the core message for our Cancer Sun, Sag Rising listener in 2025?
It really comes down to this. Your greatest power, that Cancer Sun power, is in the incredible depth of your feelings, your intuition, your ability to nurture.
And your destiny.
Your Sagittarian destiny is etched in those stars you long to explore, that horizon you're always aiming for.
So 2025, with this intense dance and relationships, structure and spirit, form and flow, it's really a call to adventure, isn't it? Both inwards and outward.
Absolutely. The source's closing guidance is really potent. Nurture your sacred hearth fiercely, Oracle. Protect that deep, intuitive core. You need that anchor.
But don't stay there.
No. Then knock your arrow, Centaur. Aim true and let fly towards those horizons that call to you, horizons bright with your truth.
It's not about choosing one or the other, the hearth or the horizon.
Exactly. The cosmos isn't trying to box you in. It's showing you how incredibly vast your nurturing spirit can become when it's powered by the archer's fearless aim.
Your heart is your compass, your vision, your destination.
Now go write your saga amongst the stars.
As our cosmic journey concludes,
Dive deeper into your unique path.
request your email audio reading now.
Find the link in the description below.
Explore episode resources and links.
All details are waiting for you there.
Ignite. Think.
Become.
Subscribe for Starlight Insights.
Thank you for joining us.